And we are live. I cannot believe it. We're live with an echo. Echo. Okay, so we are live today. This is a impossibly bad time in the middle of the day. Like, I think people that want to watch in the Americas, they're at work.
Are they?
Well, not us.
Okay.
I would watch it if I was.
I'm at work.
Yeah,
I work for the community, so
that's true.
I work every day.
That's true. And then the other people, like in Europe, it's already getting close to 10:30, Western Europe, and later still besides in Western Europe.
But you'll be surprised at how many people are still on and engaged.
Oh, one hopes. I had to lower the temperature because that sun is kind of beating me down. Okay, so anyway, and then in Asia, of course, people start waking up. East Asia, they'll start waking up here in 3 hours, whatever. Something like that. So it's kind of a weird time. Hopefully we get a few people to join us.
But here's the thing. I can almost guarantee you there's someone watching.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's 4 people
on
just this channel.
Oh, right? There you go.
But there's always more. And remember, I'm broadcasting this across a number of different channels. You know what gets a lot of engagement?
What's that?
Twitter.
It does.
It really does. I wish people would follow me on...
Wait, is it Twitter?
X. Sorry.
X. Twixter?
I don't. Yeah.
Exter?
It's an excretion. That's the former. That's the past tense of to X is to excrete.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the right time. But anyway, my point is these. So let's say I do a YouTube video and it gets like 1,000 views, I might get like 5,000 on Twitter. It's not even close. It's just some crazy thing, you know. There's some people there. Look, there's got 3 people waving at us right now. That's good. Hi everybody. Where are you all messaging from? Oh, there's my buddy Peter. How you doing, my friend? He's from, well, last I checked, he was in Northern California, Bay Area, but maybe he's traveling or something, you know. Maybe he's moved. I don't know.
Or I remember once having a conversation with you. And I think it was in Taiwan of all places.
Oh yeah.
And I asked you, where's your office located? And you said the world.
Yeah.
The world is my office. I'm like, that's a brilliant answer.
That's you too, right?
The world is our office. Wherever we are, we're working.
I mean, the two places I do not have access to yet.
The White House?
What? No.
Oh, you have the access.
I mean, I don't know. It's very weird. Central Europe, Switzerland. It's 11:10 p.m. there.
So and they're watching us?
I appreciate it. That's super cool. But no, so Antarctica, haven't done a show there yet.
Okay.
And you know, I mean, look, if the tides changed, I would love it. But obviously, at the moment, and again, never say never. But right now, like a SpringOne in North Korea is probably not going to happen. You know,
I think you can put Antarctica on the bucket list.
Whereas the other one, things would need to change in a way that.
Let's not go down that road.
It's an externality over which I have zero control. You know. So, but my point is that apart from those 2 places, there is a sense that you and I could land anywhere on the planet and say, hey, somebody doing Java, and that somebody would raise their hand.
For sure.
Anywhere else in the world. And that's, you know, so you got your friend here.
Oh, I do have my friend. Wave. Hi.
That's Duke. I don't know if people know who Duke is. I know who Duke is.
Yes.
Who does? I mean, it was everywhere at a point, you know, but
it's still everywhere. Duke is in our hearts.
It's open source too, right?
It is open source. So, you can download the images from our Duke repo on openjdk.org.
Can I make a toy out of it and not get in trouble?
You won't get in trouble.
For real. Like, I can make a toy. This is a very cute toy. Did you make this yourself?
Well, I had someone make it for me.
Oh, that's amazing. Look at that. It's got a little reflective sheen on the nose, the little nose. Hey, Laurent well, I don't know where Laurent is right now, but typically in France, and but he travels a fair bit like us. We got people. We use OpenJDK daily. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a small world. We got people.
So what are we doing here today?
Well, we're at SpringOne, but this is a community event, and you know, obviously nobody knows more about running community events and especially those celebrating the JVM than you, my friend. So
I appreciate that, but that comes from just representing the work of dozens and hundreds and thousands and millions of developers. So it's not just me. I'm just a reflection of that.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are just mediums by which to channel the greatness of the things on which we work. But
absolutely,
it is a people thing, and I love Spring, obviously. But even, you know, as much as I love Spring, even I I can't talk about Spring without talking about Java. You
That's
have
right.
to.
That's
the
right.
JVM and Java are part and parcel of why Spring is.
Is where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to think arrogantly, perhaps, that maybe it's a symbiotic relationship. Maybe
Well,
Java is great because of things like Spring, but Spring is great because of things like Java.
It's very symbiotic. I mean, but
Yeah.
you always have to start with some sort of foundational language and platform
Sure.
from which you can build an amazing ecosystem of solutions and value. And we have tools, libraries, and frameworks that
Yeah.
are peripheral to Java
Yeah.
that give it even more value.
I agree.
And Spring is part of that collection, right? And so we should celebrate that. And the fact that you're celebrating 20 years of SpringOne, like
Spring.
I
Just of Spring.
just Spring, but
Yeah.
I pinch myself at that
Me
because,
too.
well, first off, milestones need to be honored and celebrated
True.
because they don't happen all that often. So
Yeah.
we should take that moment in time and say, this is a special moment.
Truly.
Let's take this special moment and make the next 20 years even more valuable. And
wait.
so, we just celebrated 25 years of Java
Not just 25.
in 2020.
I was gonna say, yeah,
right?
it's at 28
so
now.
and now we're at 28 and on the cusp of 30 years.
But do you remember
And
we
that's amazing
celebrated?
innovation.
I remember celebrating 20 of Java.
That's right.
That was like yesterday, right?
And here we are with 25 just a few years ago on the precipice of 30. And so all of that peripheral value is to be celebrated. And I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for the SpringOne team asking me, hey, you want to come? I'm like, I'd be happy
course.
to. I mean, this is one of those things where I find investing in the community is not just a career, but it's a part of you, and being able to take vacation to come here and rub elbows with.
And then I had to ruin it and drag you into a live stream.
That's okay. No, I'm just thankful I get to go see amazing speakers, amazing community, amazing contributors, and what really stood out for me, well, besides the weather,
Right.
he's pointing at the window,
Right.
folks. But what really resonated for me in the opening day, the opening keynote, was just how your executives kind of understood that. I mean,
huge.
I lost count, but I heard community and ecosystem at least 5 times each, and it wasn't a soundbite. Like,
these are senior vice presidents and like.
yeah, but you can't just drop a term
Yeah.
and believe like the audience will gravitate towards you. You have to say it with meaning, and using those words are purposeful. And so for whether it's Java or whether it's Spring or all of the peripheral enabling technologies, community is at the heart of it, because innovation doesn't happen without people. And the fact that you celebrated people today was, I'm just sitting there like, they introduced this individual and this hero and this luminary. And as much as the backdrop of all the innovation that's happening with Spring for the next 10 plus years,
right?
The fact that you took the time to celebrate people,
of course,
just pulled on every thread in my heart.
Me too. And by the way, we saw that we did that montage video.
Yes.
And we had our friends, right?
Matt Rabel,
Trisha
G, Mala Gupta. You had so many Java champions.
Roman Lizaroff.
That's right.
Like just all these, fellow Java champions, people in the community that are just working on amazing things.
That's right.
That list, by the way, is abbreviated. There's like 5 others that
we've forgotten. You know what we need to do is make sure that people know that there's going to be a replay, right?
Yes.
Everything was recorded today.
Is that true?
I thought the keynote was recorded.
It feels like that's true.
I think that's
actually
true.
I just did a live stream a minute ago with the one, the only, the incomparable Craig Walls, and there, somebody asked about that, and I said, I think statistically it's probably gonna get uploaded, but I don't know.
I think.
Because previous years they have been, so I don't know. If past is precedent, I don't know. Hey, the other thing that I got that I wasn't all too sure about.
Yes.
In the last live stream, which again concluded like 15 minutes ago. We're gonna come back to this, but just answer the question.
Sure.
So I have it. When is Java 21 coming out? I've been telling people 19 September, but I feel like I've gotten that wrong.
I think you got it 100% right.
Okay.
September 19th, 2023.
That part's important. I was saying 2027.
No,
okay.
No. Java 21 is just around the corner. We are about to foray into yet another production-ready, high-quality release of Java that happens every 6 months. And I know we try not to differentiate between release to release, but 21, for many of us is pretty special.
We'll come back to this, okay? Because I do want to.
Pull on that thread.
That virtual thread needs to be. Hey.
Well, now we're foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just let me just so I don't forget. I have been telling people I'm recorded. I've done it 1,000 times probably this year already.
Mhm.
Okay, at least 100, whatever. I've done a number of talks, and I usually start those talks with I believe that the Spring Boot 3.x generation of Spring Boot is arguably the most single important release of Spring of anything since the very first one, and I believe that Java 21 is the most important release of Java arguably since the very first one, right? And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, we can debate that, but sure.
I think, I mean, I'm a huge fan of what Java 21 foretells. So if I had a heart attack right now and you only remembered one thing from this discussion, please just let it be that you need to be downloading this in less than a month. Download those bits now, right? Try them out, make sure it works.
Well, EA builds have been available
Yep.
since March or even prior to March, so we still welcome feedback.
Yeah, well, wow. And then so okay, back to the keynotes, right? Because I do want to talk about it. Let's kind of lead into that.
Okay.
The keynote today, we celebrated. We had a montage of all these great people in the community, right? And again, that's we looked at the last 15 years of we looked at the last 10 years of Spring Boot over 15 minutes, arriving at the current generation of Spring Boot, right?
That's right.
And that was a lot of fun because it was just sort of 20 years of Spring, 10 years of Spring Boot, and you know the demo that Dr. Sire and Moritz and I did, we literally showed all the names
of
contributors.
Right. That's right.
That was the you know the MacGuffin, the thing that we're using to compel the to motivate the story.
To me, it was the heartbeat of the demo.
Yeah,
right.
Even my point is, it's such an important thing that in everything that we do, even the thing on which we didn't even dwell, just the thing we had in the database.
Yep.
Was community legends. We call them legends. The endpoint on the demo was legends, right? These people they're just all the people. And by the way, those are all the people that have author tags. So what we did in the demo was we showed like Spring Boot 1.0, Spring Boot 2.0,
and so on.
But
Yep.
And we moved the application forward. I think we were channeling. Do you remember who's our friend in the Java Montreal Java champion? Henri Tremblay. Remember that keynote he did some years ago?
He did.
Where he looked at Java 1.0 and took this code
memorable. I wish we could point to that.
Me too.
That was a
perfect.
Those are one of those moments in time that stay in your muscle memory and you wish you could go back and watch it again because it's so meaningful.
I can see it. It was so good.
But that's why I always keep saying, like, for me,
yeah,
it's so important to have these moments where we can physically get together, but that content's got to get recorded because there's so much learning that can happen after the event. It's like having a book on your shelf. Every once in a while, you need to go back and pull it down. And so content is key.
Yeah. And I agree 100%. In that presentation, the code still worked. It was not the code. It was the network protocols.
Yep.
It was I forget, he was integrating with some client, some service, whatever. And the protocol itself was ambient and that had changed over time, but the Java code still ran.
Yet it ran.
Yeah. 32-bit Java from 1995.
Who knows when?
Yeah, exactly. Like forever ago. And he had it in a virtual machine, but it ran. And then the same thing for today's demo.
That's right.
In today's code, we had to use an older version of Java, which is fine, still ran. But the thing that wasn't the thing that broke incompatibly wasn't the Java code. Of course not. Of course not. It was MongoDB itself changed its network protocol. So sleight of hand that you didn't see on stage when we did the first demo using Spring Boot from 10 years ago.
Yep.
We had to use an older version of MongoDB.
Yep.
And then when we moved to the newer ones, we're using the newer drivers.
Contraire, mon frère.
Yeah.
Is my French correct? Is I snuck in to watch the rehearsals.
Oh yeah.
So I got a little snip. I'm like, oh, that's how they're doing it.
Yeah. It was. I mean, MongoDB changed.
But,
it's only been 10
but what
years.
does that tell you? It tells you
Java endures.
Java does endure, but it's also important to know what your dependency chain is.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So who's taking inventory of that? Who's maintaining that? Who understands where it's all been utilized?
Yeah.
That is an important dimension that we sometimes often forget.
Yeah, that's true. I great keynote.
Yep.
I said this in the last live stream. I'll repeat it. Because I think it's true. My favorite, the most in terms of technical, in terms of like giving me knowledge per minute, I think Cora's presentation stuck the dismount there perfectly.
It was a perfect dismount, and I know we're segueing from technical to societal.
We are.
aren't we? Like
We're
a
talking
little
about
bit.
Cora's Java 21 virtual threads one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
To me, there's a benefit there because we're
Oh.
talking about accelerating productivity for developers.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hey, 5-dimensional chess. I'm sorry, I wasn't playing. Okay, good.
That's
Go on.
okay. Yeah, I mean, we talked about threads. It's amazing that Project Loom
Yeah.
is now birthing its first GA quality feature
God, I'm so
with
excited.
virtual threads. But writing, maintaining, observing high throughput
Yeah.
concurrency applications is important.
Yeah.
Virtual threads is going to get us there and gets us there, and it's
Yeah.
great to see Spring embracing virtual threads.
Oh,
I think it's a game changer.
yeah. I really do.
5 years from now, we're going to say that was a momentous point in time.
Next year, we're gonna say that was a momentous. Right now,
And then
I'm
2 years
saying,
later, and then 3
Yeah.
years later,
right
and
now,
then 5 years later.
for the last 6 months, I've been
sure.
saying that will be a momentous point in time.
Yes.
And I know there are like Project Crack is great. I love GraalVM. All these things have a big place in my heart. But in terms of changing the lives for the better of the everyday Java developer, in terms of like delivering win for free,
That's right.
I can think of nothing that will do more than this one upgrade.
If you think about it, our careers contain so much pressure
Mhm.
at the business level to be productive.
Mhm.
This is inherently going to make developers more productive.
And it gives, you. I don't know if so. For the 2 people in the world who have not heard about this,
Who are they?
It's they've decoupled operating system carrier threads from Java threads. The result of which is through a long series of machinations that you don't need to worry about because it's entirely transparent.
That's right.
You can now have millions of threads on the JDK, and things that would have been blocking before, like input streams and output streams, they just sort of magically work. There's you don't have nothing changes, just the thread pool, and it's not even a thread pool anymore. It's just an executor service.
Correct. And then on top of it is, I mean, we're really targeting applications that are workloads that are being deployed in the cloud, where this really
Perfect.
does matter.
Yeah,
It tangibly matters.
You're throwing away money if you're not upgrading.
Correct.
You're when you could handle N today, you might be able to handle 10 times N tomorrow.
Well, so we're in Vegas. There's a term.
I can't even tell. I haven't
We're
been
in
able to
Las
leave the
Vegas.
hotel.
There's a term, leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
You're leaving money on the
You're
table.
leaving money on the table. It is. I know this is going to sound ridiculous. It is to the point of deserving mockery if you don't upgrade. It is so important that you upgrade.
Yeah.
I cannot stress it. And because I just think it's like free. And so Spring Boot 3.2, that's coming out November. Don't ask me for an exact date. I apparently got the right one for.
But
Java
what is it
21.
taking advantage of?
Loom.
There you
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Spring Boot 3.2 comes out in November. It's going to have support for. We talked about Project Crack, coordinated restore at checkpoint. It's going to have support as it already does for GraalVM, but also Loom, one little property, spring.threads.virtual.enabled or something like that, right? Equals true. And then suddenly, wherever possible across the portfolio of projects, not every dependency supports virtual threads yet, but where they do, if Spring integrates those things, we'll tie them together for you. So, for example, Tomcat and Jetty.
Correct.
But Undertow, I don't think yet does. So, for example, if using Spring Boot Starter Undertow, at the moment, using that property doesn't do anything for you.
Right? So I will challenge you when you said Java 21 is your favorite release of Java since.
Maybe 5 at least.
My answer is the most current release of Java is my favorite.
Okay. Well, I guess, yeah. But I mean.
Well, because it matters, right? Because innovation happens incrementally. Like those notions of Big Bang, as visible as they are, it's very disruptive.
Yeah.
I like incremental change. And that's what we're happening. And that's what's happening.
I even tweeted out. So we'll talk about this in a minute. Let's not jump on this, but I do want to mention during the Spring AI. Yes, there's a Spring AI. If you haven't, we'll get to that in a second.
Well, he's going to get into that.
Yeah, during the Spring AI demo section of the keynote, they had some code on screen, and it was good. It was good code, great code, the best code.
Did you say the best?
The best code, but
right.
I called out. I called out that on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, some of the variables are using like list of string, and then others are using var. Like, just pick a lane.
Well,
you can't just have half code using integer I and string X, and then other 5 lines var. My variable equals.
What you just summarized is choice matters. But
Yeah,
make a choice.
but make a
Make a
choice.
choice.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is make a choice.
So I'm like, I love incremental features. Like you said, incremental innovation.
Mm.
VAR is you should see my code. Everything is VAR. I have no interest in going back. I don't like going back. I use it all the time. Multi-line strings. I love JDBC.
Mhm.
Like, your ORMs are interesting to me, but they are not for me. I can do a lot in JDBC. I feel very happy there. Multi-line strings make they make JDBC just this wonderfully pleasant thing to work with in Java code. Plus var SQL equals quote 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 select all from whatever.
But you take the collection of all of that, each
Yeah.
of those little components,
Huge.
those adaptions,
Yeah.
That innovation matters on its own, but collectively,
Yeah.
when you utilize all of them,
Right.
just think about how productive you are, and
Right.
think about how productive your application will be, which means how productive your company's going to be.
Right.
Like there's a sequence there.
Sure. But I would argue that with Loom, we've only gotten one tangible byproduct of
So
this
far,
innovation,
so far.
which is the
Right.
they rewrote the socket APIs a few years
Correct.
ago, right? And that made it out into GA. But otherwise, it's been sort of like this giant branch that's been off in the wings
Well,
that you could try.
But that's
not.
why I think it's so amazing as far as what happens at the OpenJDK project is we create projects that in themselves start to birth specific features.
Yeah.
It's not like one feature and then we run to the next project.
No.
It's like what we're trying to do, for example, Project Amber.
Yeah.
Simplifying the Java language for reading, writing, and maintaining
Right.
of code. I mean, that's important. That's also important in Java 21. I mean, think of like record patterns, pattern matching for switch. These
Yeah.
are all things that are all part of Project Amber,
Yeah.
which improves our productivity. Improving language
Like I
syntax
said,
matters.
Java 21 is it.
Yeah.
For me, that's the big. You've got these nice collection, this nice assortment of language syntax that makes more pleasant day to day. But then you've also got like free money. Just switch on virtual threads, your existing apps.
Well,
if you're a programmer or a business person, just looking at the line numbers for the costs.
Yes.
Either way, Java 21 is
but
free.
you talked about the programmer, the developer, the enterprise.
Yeah.
But I'm also, or I should say, we as the Java team are also focusing on the next generation. So things
Of
like
course.
JEP 445 with unnamed classes, trying to reduce the ceremony for
Oh, yeah.
approachability, so you can write Java code, much more efficiently.
So that you can void main, no string arguments.
Correct.
Curly bracket, system out hello, system out print line.
And think about it, like
And that can be at the top of a class file.
We need to make sure that next generation can embrace Java
Yeah.
as efficiently as they can, and that's just again one small investment towards that.
But no, so that, by the way, question on that. I think I got the answer to this already, but just can you clarify one way or another? It's not just main, right? I could do like int max, int a, comma, int b, and then just call that from any class.
Correct.
In the same package, or can I make it a public function at the top, or what's the export? Like, is it visible from another package? Or is it
Let's
not?
explore that. Can we do the live coding?
We don't have enough time, but we'll revisit it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we should do that.
Yeah, we should. I have to. Yeah, timelines. But yeah, like it's Java 21. Anyway, you can just get it. Is that going to be the unnamed classes that'll be in 21?
Well,
Or a preview?
we're happy to have it as a preview feature,
Yeah.
because what we want is feedback to make sure we're getting it right.
Right.
And that's why I love the notion of preview features,
Yeah.
because we allow the community to make a comment as far as, is this addressing what your needs are?
Oh yeah.
Right. And so that sometimes that could result in a second preview. In some cases, a third or fourth, but we try to like keep that as transparent and slim as we can. But we think we got it right.
Yeah.
We know we've reached about like 90% of the way there, and that
Yeah.
last 10% really comes from the feedback we get from the
Validation
ecosystem.
one way or another.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I love that you're responsive to that. I've seen that
Yeah.
with Project Loom. Obviously, it's it has changed. The API has changed a number of times to reflect the back and forth in the community. I love that.
There's a great quote.
It's great.
I know part of this whole tech world is move fast and break things.
Oh.
I would counter that with saying move thoughtfully and build things.
Yeah, and the Java team is definitely in that latter camp. I love
Yes.
that about them. Okay, so you mentioned some of these other. We talked about the unnamed classes. Actually, I love that. I'm excited about it. I just didn't. I've seen it before. I just didn't even think about it right now. Vectors, the vector API.
Thanks, bye. It's coming along.
Do we have a?
It'll be ready when it's ready.
Okay. that feature to me,
It'll be ready when it's ready.
I think it's. I mean, I think we can all agree Java is more than suitable to. It could be the thing that displaces Python in AI, for example. We have a huge community of stuff to build, but the language itself is basically there. Vectors is a missing piece, I think. If you wanted to build like it'll give us what SciPy and NumPy give the Python.
I mean,
the matrix multiplication.
The part of the heartbeat of Project Panama addressing that space is not to make Java the best in one thing, but to try and solve the problems that type of application development is facing.
Right.
You solve those problems and then becomes much more embraceable.
Right.
So
and you could build that stuff on top. And so Panama is different. Vectors are one thing. That's matrix multiplication, fast, hardware specific, SIMD, SIMD, symmetric multi something.
You're putting me on the spot because
I forget. Whatever.
Like I know the acronyms. Yeah. But that's how we remember things, and it's like, what does it stand for?
I don't know. Yeah, so there's that, and then Panama is the other thing I love because remember, I like to say that the two big things that bedevil JVM developers are they're really small and they're really big.
Yeah,
and it's and we've got great stories there for both. Like the really big, we show me a language that's done more for big data and NoSQL. And
I think you're talking about now Project Valhalla.
Why?
Both.
Valhalla is you're talking about Valhalla and
Panama.
But big stuff.
Yeah.
Java is already dominant, right? All the cloud infrastructure, most of it there is Java, JVM.
But we say that humbly.
I mean, well, yeah, okay, but also true. It's like just seriously. I mean, so and then also databases, right? Things like that. So that's the big stuff, and then in the small stuff, on the other end we got like Android. You've got J2ME. We've got embedded stuff.
Did you say J2ME?
Well, it's a thing that existed. Project Oak, right? Java was originally embedded like set-top boxes, right? I mean,
oh my goodness,
that story is good for a reason. It is really a great idea to use
All
Java.
Right, folks, you have to understand this. Whenever I get together with Josh, it's like going back in history, and then I feel very dated, and then I feel every follicle on my face turning even more gray. Thank you for that.
I used J2ME. It was fine. Yeah, anyway, my point is Java is prevalent there. And so I think it's just sort of what are the things we need to make it better if that's a thing we want to do at all. And I think Project Panama is going to be huge for that. Project Panama is easy interop with native code, right? We have JNI. That's it's fine. Okay. It's just not my
optimizing data is mission critical.
Right. And native integration. Like if I want to call into a POSIX API or Win32 or something like that, I need this ability to work with managed memory.
But I think what you're building is a good case that goes back to something we started with, which is participation.
Yeah.
And, I don't care how much innovation happens, it doesn't happen without people. And what we would like to see is the continuing participation in the OpenJDK project.
Right.
Find out the projects that most resonate with the type of development you're currently doing or interested in doing. Join the mail lists, contribute, participate. That is the ethos of what has kept Java so vibrant for 28 years and soon to be 30 in 2 more years.
Well, all of it. I want all of it. Now.
You want it now.
You don't need my help on deciding what to do next. You've already got all the things I just listed are already well underway. Yes. And when they drop, I will be the first to download them and try them out. Because they're great. Like Valhalla, Amber, Panama. All yes, please.
And well, yes, please to all of that, but also the fact that we're already ready for Java 22 in March. I mean, there's early access builds available today.
Yeah.
Go download those. Start testing it.
That's so cool.
So, I mean, it's exciting times.
Single instruction, multiple data. Yeah, that's from
someone is doing the acronym.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Great community. By the way, Laurent says bonjour from Paris. I probably see both of you at
Comment ça va?
Yeah.
Mon ami?
Devox Belgium and Antwerp. See you there, my friend. So okay. I've talked about this. It's a hypothetical. It's a nonsense hypothetical, but it does make me kind of happy. Which is, what if? Like, how would you? Okay, cast your mind back to the distant past. What would we have to have had? Is that the right subjunctive? What would we have to have had to make the compelling, persuasive case that they should have built Kubernetes atop Java in 2013? And hey, no, really, so you've got small self-contained binaries native to each platform that start up in a blink of an eye. Whether you're looking at Project Crack or GraalVM, we've got stories there at work that are out there. You want lightweight Go routine like threads, right? Virtual threads. We've got that with Loom.
Well,
okay. What else is missing? Easy interop with native code. That's Project Panama. I think you would have no reason to build Kubernetes today on Go when you have Java 21 or Project Panama.
The thing is, we're playing, as they say in the U.S., what if and Monday morning quarterbacking. What's happened in the past is an artifact of the past, and we learn from evolution.
Hypothetical.
So yeah. So
I prefaced it with nonsensical hypothetical. I don't expect it's ever going to happen. There's millions of hours of R&D in Kubernetes. I'm just saying technically, if we had the Project Panama plus all the other stuff, and that was the choice between that and Go.
Where's the DeLorean?
Yeah, exactly. Let me go back.
Where's the DeLorean?
But we're in a really amazing place where now Java is not just this very good language for the enterprise.
I'm so excited. Based on 28 continuing years of innovation, there's a solid foundation for the next 28 years and beyond. I mean, I can't wait till when we reach 30 years to say what's the next 30 years going to look like. And what's so exciting to me is at a certain point we're going to pass the baton on. And we're passing the baton on to a language and a platform that is so robust and so innovative that I have no concerns of the direction that we're going in. I don't. I'm looking forward to that opportunity when that happens. Not yet.
No.
Not.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving yet.
Yeah,
no. Don't get me wrong. But we are in such good shape from a community, from a technology, from an ecosystem. It's extremely healthy.
Yeah, and it's getting better by the day. That's right.
I
guess what I'm trying to stress is I would not have thought that I could have these hypothetical discussions about Java.
Yes, but in
those contexts.
Another thing that is actually important too is all of those notions of use cases and best practices that span across industries. We need to create and continue and cultivate that environment where those can be shared. So things like going to a user group meetup or going to a conference or giving a session or recording ideas, that knowledge needs to be shared more globally. And that's why this is important. The face-to-face is important because we can then extend it by doing this sort of on air.
So the Java user groups are they're the lifeblood of.
Yeah, they are.
I got community. My start there.
Yep.
Everybody I've ever talked to started there.
Can I quiz you?
Yeah.
Do you know the very first Java user group?
New York. Is that wrong? I think it's New York City.
I'm going to pass on the Duke baton to you. Oh my goodness. That is very good. New York Java SIG. That's right.
That's right. It's still it's one of the best in the world, right? It's still an amazing.
One of the most active, and we don't measure success by numbers all the time, but they are
consistent and
good,
thoughtful,
and they help.
Yeah,
like they transfer knowledge in terms of how to do things, what topics to focus on.
They help other people become jugs. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that. We have the Jug Leadership Summit. Often we have something like that. And,
that's right. Great forum to transfer that knowledge. So use cases and best practices in terms of technology. We also have that platform for community.
Yeah,
and the Jug is the facilitator of that.
I love that Jug, and I love all Jugs I've spoken at. I just realized I want to take a photo with you.
Oh, they're here.
There, I'm just. Yeah, thank you.
I should have another one made for you.
I would. If you did, I would appreciate it, but just know my kid might take it.
Oh,
she would.
Fair enough.
So soft and adorable. Great question here. How many people contribute to the implementation of the JEPs? It's a very hard question to answer definitively, but maybe you could take a swing.
Well, you can go look at each of the JEPs and look at the contributors. So if you go to openjdk.org, look up the specific JEP, and then you can see who's participating and who are the contributors.
And is it very difficult? Do I need to be referenced? Do I need to be referred by Brian Getz himself to participate in it?
We have various levels of participation in the OpenJDK project. It depends on, do I want to just be an observer? Do I want to be an author? There's various levels that have a certain expectation, as they should, because this is meaningful stuff.
Sure.
Right? What is your commitment level? And so go to openjdk.org. You can look at the participatory levels and decide on your own what level you would like to contribute. But I think at the bare minimum, sign up for the mailing lists.
Yeah,
that is one way to contribute is just by staying observant of what's happening,
abreast of it.
That's right.
Is that the right word? Staying abreast, keeping apprised. What's the?
I like apprised.
I don't know which one.
I do like apprised. But openjdk.org. Pretty
And,
simple.
Simple is good. There, I did it.
There
Good
you
team.
go.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. This community. So
Oh, you know what?
Uh-huh.
That's a part of that question too is with every new release of Java, we do put out a release blog, and we do recognize members of the community that have filed high quality bugs.
Mhm.
So we can highlight those individuals. So that's
That's so
another place where you can see who those individuals are. So look forward to the Java 21 release blog.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Actually, there's like a website you've got, Inside Java or something like that. What is it called?
So we have dev.java,
Yeah.
which is the official Java portal for learning and community. So we update tutorials targeting various levels of skill sets, whether you're just starting with Java, intermediate,
Ooh.
advanced. And we try to
Wow.
refresh that. On dev.java, you can also explore all of our various community programs. And we need to get better at this, which we are trying to do. So we want your feedback. Tell us what we can do. Very soon, we'll be taking contributions from the ecosystem to
Wow.
highlight on dev.java. I think it's pretty cool.
This is really nice.
Yeah.
I confess, I've never seen this before. Yeah, there's it's mentioning Inside Java. This I know about.
So inside.java,
Yeah.
yet another important portal because the community. So here's the thing:
I'm a fan.
we as developers have our own preferences in terms of the modalities, in terms of how we want to stay connected.
Right.
And so we need to make sure we have enough of those modalities covered with reaching the ecosystem.
So what is the difference between
So
Java and-
inside.java is an aggregation of all the publications from the Java team
Ooh,
that are
right.
tagged so you can quickly find technical topics.
Right, which I like.
Dev.java is a place where you want to go for information in terms of learning, upskilling, community.
So I would start with dev.java.
Correct.
That's where I would go. That would be my new front door. I just didn't know that
Absolutely.
I wasn't already on the outside looking.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And then inside.java is literally the aggregation of all of the people on the Java team in terms of what they're publishing.
Yeah, good job. Look at that, bookmarked.
Okay,
Well,
excellent.
I'm this makes me happy. I want to see this bookmarked. I'm gonna bookmark it. I learned a thing today.
Yes.
Oh, what if we peaked? What if this is the best this conversation gets? I already learned 2 new things in like a minute.
But wait, there's more,
Okay,
because
yeah.
the next time we do this conversation, there'll be even more to share,
Can't wait.
right? Because innovation isn't stagnant.
Yeah.
There will be things that we can talk about on the next interview.
If Java is involved, then that's true.
There you go.
I love my
So
Java.
I will say this, getting back to why we're here. I mean, the celebration of 20 years of Spring, 10 years of Spring Boot.
Nearly 30
I
years
am very thankful and humbled by your executives who are recognizing this milestone.
Yeah,
Number one,
me too. By the way,
recognizing the people.
Yeah.
Number two, and number three, stressing how important it is for community participation.
Huge.
Because those are all three things that are the lifeblood of Java. And if those are extensions, what make Spring and both Spring Boot important, then we've succeeded and we continue to succeed. So thank you to your entire team.
And thank you. I think it's very symbiotic. Like I said,
Well, if you're thanking me, then you're thanking
I'm thanking them too.
you're
yeah.
thanking everyone there and there and there and
It's true.
there.
And by the way, I stress that saying, remember all these. I usually do my live streams in the morning. to do this in the dead of the afternoon.
Morning.
West Coast,
What morning of what time?
West Coast.
Okay.
West Coast mornings.
All right.
To do it now in the middle of the afternoon, right before everybody in Asia has had a chance to wake up, but after people in Europe are going to bed, or the EMEA, that whole region, right? Like it's just a really bad time zone. There's still a bunch of people online watching this.
EMEA, Europe, Middle
Middle East
East,
and
Africa.
Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. And I should do that. I should say the Americas, APJ, and EMEA instead of like, because it's not strictly speaking like Asia, it's Asia Pacific.
That's right.
But that includes Australia, for example. Yeah. APJ. EMEA.
Oh, where are we? Are we close?
To what?
I think. Don't you have an appointment coming
do
up? Oh my
soon.
goodness.
Oh goodness.
Oh no.
Okay. Any questions, people? Last chance to get it from the sources, the open source's mouth, or something. I don't know. The Duke. Yeah. You should get a sock puppet for Duke.
I have one.
What? Why didn't you bring that? Derelict in your duties.
I have one.
You could come.
So here's my promise. For the next podcast, I will bring my Duke puppet.
Yes. I mean, we don't even have to talk.
But
We'll just have you
but then I would be revealing to the world what Duke's actual voice is. Oh.
I like to imagine it sounds like Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah,
He had
maybe.
I loved his voice. Rest in peace.
So I have some action items for everyone watching.
Yeah.
One is bookmark openjdk.org.
Okay.
2, find the projects that interest you and sign up for the mailing lists.
Okay. Fair
3,
enough. I'm gonna do that.
bookmark dev.java.
Yeah.
4, participate in the community. And 5, well, there's no 5. 5 is
Yeah.
for me to say thank you to
Yeah.
all of you.
And also, Laurent wonders when's the next podcast with the sock puppet.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll get right on that. Are you on the internet? Do you want to be found? If so, where do people find you?
Best way to find me is what do we call this platform? Twitter, Twixter, Xter,
X, I don't
X, at Sharat_Chander.
Yeah.
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Threads. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on LinkedIn. I think I have my bases covered. I just started Instagram. I apologize. I'm not all that savvy yet.
Is it just photos of you and Duke?
Just photos of me, Duke, and my dogs. That's about
So
it.
cool.
But yeah, find me on Twitter. I'd be happy to connect.
X.
My DMs.
I do the same thing, and it's
Yeah. Okay. You can find me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I'd be happy to connect. My DMs are open.
yeah.
I look forward to it.
Okay, I think we did a good thing here, man.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.